I like this post because it speaks to boundaries. It was posted in anti-work in the anti-work subreddit. This person says, "My job asked me to act like family. So I started setting boundaries like one. Now they say I have an attitude." This is a short post. This person says, "I'm tired of the fake 'we are family' script at work. I told my manager, if we were a family, then I'm that cousin who sets boundaries, doesn't show up to drama, and expects to be respected. Suddenly, I'm not a team player, not engaged, and hard to manage. Funny how acting like a healthy family member gets you labeled the problem. Maybe I'm crazy, but I thought respecting people's time, mental space, and personal lives was what real families do. Anyone else hit with the 'we're a family' guilt trip only to realize it's just corporate code for 'we'll underpay you and expect loyalty.'" As I'm reading this reads like this is a Black woman. This is definitely a woman because women are the ones that are not supposed to have boundaries where it comes to work or people asking for things. Women are supposed to just be the giving people and just say okay and go along with it. This is definitely a woman, but I'm reading this like this is definitely a Black woman, but you'll have to let me know what you think. All right, now for some of these comments. Stealthy Tulip says, "I told my manager that we are not family. I told him that we are a collective of strangers who are compensated by our corporate overlord to tolerate each other long enough to complete our individually assigned tasks together. He leaves me alone." I've had coworkers tell me that they don't really like me or my attitude, and I've told them that it must be hard for them to have such strong emotions for someone who doesn't even know their name and forgets they exist once he gets home. They also leave me alone. I love this man. High five. He says, "I forget your name soon as I walk out this building." And I love that for him. I'm going to call him Eric. That made me laugh. Key Roydy says, "I'm generally a cordial guy who likes going out with coworkers, but my lord, it's amazing how people think they can monopolize your time if you give them an inch. Kudos to your boundaries." The Wonk says, "For real, if it's like a family, then goddamn, it's an abusive one. Consider me low contact." These people are funny. Olive Fred says, "I make spreadsheet. He make bigger spreadsheet. I send email. He send longer email. I go home. Feel nothing. He go home. Big mad. Very nice." The Wonk says, "Great success." Stealthy Tulip says, "It do be like that." And then Friar Nurgle says, "Thumbs up." These people are funny. Camels Like Saya says, "Yes, very nice." Vedi Blue says, I don't think about you at all." And then Stealthy Tulip says, "This guy gets it." And then the person at the bottom says, "I love you." Very simple. I love these people too. I love that they have boundaries. And the thing is, the reason why I'm reading these is I do believe that we have to practice having boundaries, especially as a woman, because a lot of times our boundaries are pushed out of us. They are hammered out of us. We're supposed to just give and give and give as women. Sometimes men don't have boundaries as well, but as women, we definitely have to learn them because we have been taught that we have to respect authority. You got to, especially if your manager is a man, you have to just do it. You have to be a team player. And if you're not getting paid to be a team player, if these people will drop you like a bad habit when they need to, if they don't give a damn about giving you 2 weeks or give a damn about what's going on in your personal life with your financial situation, you need to treat them the exact same way. Your time is your time. Lizzie Oates says, "I make sure my coworkers are frequently reminded that we are just work friends, and that's only because I like working in a friendly, upbeat environment. I don't give a F about how you feel about me or how I feel about you. Just don't drag down the vibe at work. Y'all get my customer service face just as much as the customers do. The second my foot crosses that threshold after I clock out, we are not friends. We are not acquaintances. I don't know you, and I carry mace." That last bit is a bit exaggerated. Selty Tulip says, work is work and home is home. I don't bring my home life to work. I don't bring my work life home. The door/gate is the dividing line where one ends and the other begins. See, high five. I like this. I like boundaries. I like that we're having this discussion in social media and the social media spaces so that we can brainstorm and role play having some boundaries if you have none yet. If you've been a people pleaser, if you've been the one that's the scapegoat and you go over and above what you have to get done. This is what you have to practice. You have to practice. You have to listen to what other people do. You got to file it away. You got to say it to yourself in the mirror, in the bathroom. You have to learn how to say no and be okay with it. All right, y'all. Let me know what you think about this one. This was definitely a good one about boundaries. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Whenever women write into these "Am I the a-hole" subreddits or "Am I overreacting" subreddits, I usually think absolutely not. These women are simply looking for validation for feeling normal human emotions. This post exactly the same. This woman says, "Am I the a-hole? Husband quit his job with no notice and no plan." She says, "Am I overreacting?" And the answer is no. Her husband quit his job. Obviously, this is going to impact her life. There's no way to overreact to this. All right, so she says, "I've been with my husband for over 20 years. I love him and have never doubted that he's my person. Normally, we function as a couple extremely well. I consider myself to be very lucky in love. But I've been working 2 jobs because it has been my goal to get totally out of debt this year. 100% of my second job income goes towards debt. I barely have any free time at all and can't remember the last time I had a day free to myself. I've been on the grind hard. Our economy is only getting scarier. Well, my husband came home this week unexpectedly stating that he quit his job. He was miserable and mistreated where he worked. I've been begging him to find something new, but, I kind of wanted him to have a new job lined up first. I'm miserable where I work too, and my company is aggressively downsizing. Husband is well aware that my job security for my primary job is very thin to non-existent, and he still chose to do this. He didn't give a 2 weeks notice, and he didn't have any kind of plan for what comes next. I wanted him to get out of there, yes, but not like this. I feel like I've been betrayed. I feel like I'm seeing my debt-free dreams turn to ash before my eyes. I can't even express to him how upset and worried I am without him going into a fit of self-deprecating tears. I haven't really been able to have a productive talk with him. He just melts down and starts yelling about how he ruined our lives. Oh my God, that right there is a manipulation tactic. Whatever that manipulation tactic is, someone tell me in the comments. What is the manipulation tactic where they just melt down and start, "Oh my God, it's all my fault"? What is that? That is definitely something. That's the type of thing that makes you run and try to comfort him, even though he's the problem. That is something, but I just don't know the term for that. I love him, but I'm heartbroken, and I feel like I'm utterly alone in the world now because my partner stabbed me in the back. I didn't agree to be the only provider." And then she says, "I felt I should add some more context for how I'd been overreacting to this. I'm pretty upset and scared and feel like he thinks I should be more supportive since I did want him to leave where he was to begin with. Absolutely not overreacting. Create a plan and execute the plan. Don't just up and walk away, especially without telling your spouse, the person that you're going to expect to start taking care of all of the bills. This is absolutely irresponsible and not something that you do as an actual adult, a thinking adult. That's something you do as a teenager when you're still living under the cover of your parents, not when you're a whole adult that has adult responsibilities and adult bills. This woman is not overreacting. In fact, she might be underreacting, but you all will have to chime in and let me know what you think. Arena says, "Time for him to go to the food bank and get signed up for groceries. Grab an old-fashioned newspaper and apply to all the help wanted advertisements for anything. Try as hard as you can not to live on credit cards." This is the OP saying, "Oh yeah, I definitely won't ever make that mistake twice. The entire point of having my second job was to pay all of that away from bad financial years past. I had 2 of them paid off too. Insane Scene says, if you don't mind sharing, where did the debt come from? The OP says, it's mine. I had multiple financial crises all happen within a very disastrous year. That was some time ago now, but we don't make much. So before the second job, I was only able to make minimum payments on everything. I don't want to say much else because I prefer not to get too personal, but most of it was caused by 2 badly timed catastrophes happening back to back. Sorry September says, makes sense. Have you considered that maybe he was actually fired and is lying to you in order to save face and not explain why? It would make considerably more sense than what he's claiming happened. And that could be why he's sitting up there melting down like, oh my God, it's all my fault. I'm so terrible. Oh my God. That is, sorry September is onto something right there. That could literally be it. What's a Simba says, if I had a choice between telling my spouse that I had quit with no plan and without discussing it with them first, or telling them I got fired, but at least there's unemployment, I choose fired. So that's a different thread. Let me know, which one do you think? Which choice? Krilox is talking to the OP here, saying you should add this to the original post as it is a huge point. And then this person down here is saying, so you're mad your piggy bank is gone. She was not using that person as a piggy bank. That person was paying their part of the bills. The second job was paying for her debt. The fact that they named themselves Healthy Brain, that's definitely an oxymoron or a misnomer or something like that. Overall Lab Talk to Healthy Brain says, OP had 2 jobs. Must not have been much of a piggy bank. 27 says, on top of this, he needs to sign up for Instacart, Uber, DoorDash, Spark, everything. And hopefully the market isn't too full in the area. Viola Swamp says, you have to have a decent car for Uber or Lyft. The cosmetics matter just as much as the mechanics. It will put a ton of miles on super fast too. If the car isn't clean and passenger ready, Instacart, DoorDash, etc. are a better way to go. I really do love that people in the comment section are so supportive. That is great, except for that one person. And I really do hope that she's able to have a conversation when this man settles down or whatnot. Anyways, let me know. Do you think she's overreacting or underreacting? I say underreacting. That's my vote. Join the conversation. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. I was tagged in this short Am I Overreacting post, and I'm covering up the screenshot of their interaction because it's funny and I want to build anticipation. She says, am I overreacting for thinking what I said was perfect and he's being dramatic for blocking me? So the caption, this short conversation seems so unhinged, but I'm looking for opinions. So I, 19-year-old woman, was in a talking stage with this guy, 20-year-old man, for 2 months. And a few hours ago, he asked me this question, and after I responded, he ended up blocking me for a few minutes after. I might be crazy, but I feel like he was either testing me or I actually offended him from how I answered. So am I reacting for this or is he? And then this is where I was tagged. She says, this has your name on it. And then I just kind of fell out. I just kind of fell out laughing. So here is the screenshot of the short text message conversation. He says, I have a question. She says, go on. He says, what hurts more, that period ass pain females get or receiving behind loving? And he uses a different word that starts with an A, but I'm saying behind loving. And she's like, what the F? How about I buy you that period simulator thingy and you can try it out. And then I'll do some behind loving with you, on you. So you get the answer and the experience. He says, yeah, nah, I'm out. You took that way too far. I asked a question. I wasn't signing up for an offer to get pegged and hooked up to a torture machine. She's trying to help him out, get some firsthand experience. But what is period ass pain? Like, do these people not know anything about women? Anyways. And that's why my comment on here was to fall out laughing, have the skull emoji, and all of these eggplants. I was definitely tickled by this. Hopefully you got a chuckle out of this one. All right, just a few of the comments. Gorilla Spinner says, if he blocked you for this, I think you dodged a bullet. And then the OP says, shame he wasn't prepared for this level of commitment. Fantastic comment says, curious, how do you know he blocked you? Is there a way to find out? And then she says, text messages weren't delivering. Fantastic comment says, thank you. This whole time I thought someone blocked me, but I guess they are just ghosting. LOL. Not sure if it's better or worse. Turnip Worldly says, well, with ghosting, they might not have ignored you on purpose. They just might have died. That's a pretty good excuse. Blocking is definitely on purpose. That hurts a bit. Deviant Joy says, or be too depressed to maintain relationships, so they just go ghost on everyone that tries to talk to them and let them all fizzle out. Source, me. Hungry Gas says, take him blocking you as a favor. You don't want to be with a guy who can't take a joke. Then Defiant Impact says, honestly, when he blocked me, I couldn't help but laugh. Then I stopped and just stood there questioning what the F just happened. Got mad and sad and then realized this talking stage was over. I think I went through 5 stages of grief. And then everybody starts wondering, how are you talking to someone for 2 months? Because obviously people have a different idea of what talking to is. And I was reading in the comments, and I didn't post all of this. She's in a different country, and she says that, yes, you can be talking to someone for a couple of months. It's just the stage before actually being in a committed relationship. So I'm just answering that question because this person is asking all of that. This person says, I feel like I have an idea what a talking phase is, but then I hear 2 months and I'm confused. So y'all spent 2 months filling each other out before meeting, 2 months before getting physical. She says, no, a talking stage is the stage before being official. We went on dates and met up regularly, and yes, we slept with each other. But then she goes on to elaborate that they just didn't commit fully. But obviously now she sees that they're probably not going to commit fully because he is not wanting to actually experience the things that he probably wants to do to her. There you go. There's absolutely no connection between these two posts. That was just a short post, and this is a short post. So I'm putting them together. I was sent this post from Instagram. This woman says, bro, I'm thinking about how in 2017, I was pregnant by my boyfriend at the time and came home from work. My feet were hurting, and I asked him to please get me some Chinese food. And he said, you was just outside. Why you ain't do it? And I got a termination the next day. He was so mad and hurt. A ninja can never play on my top. She said, nope. She said she saw her life flash before her eyes, what parenting with this person would be. And she said, absolutely not. I am not taking out that kind of commitment with this person. She said, I am taking care of this tomorrow. Her whole life, she looked at it all the way from the day that baby was born to 18. And she said, absolutely not. This will not be my life. Her comment section was popping. I can definitely say that. People took exception to her just kind of playing this out and just basically, some people tried to equivocate it to simply being an argument over Chinese food when it really wasn't an argument over Chinese food. But here she is again saying, I ain't fixing with nobody, period. I said what I said. If I'm pregnant and I had a long day at work, your first reaction shouldn't be to yell at me. I never said, go and get me Chinese food. I simply said, please get me some Chinese food. He could have ordered it, but his first initial instinct was to yell at me. That'll turn into him, bro, changing a diaper, making a bottle, put the baby to sleep, etc. I wasn't prepared to be a single mother, and I wasn't gonna be one. The F? And she says, and thank you for those who are in support of my decision, and to those who are not, forget y'all. And she did not say forget. Some of the reactions. So Phony says, period. One Mimi says, you saw the signs and you made an executive decision. Hand claps. Awkwardly Strawberry says, you moved correctly, girl. F what they talking about. The Vain Life says, I couldn't agree more. Baby, you saw the signs and you saved yourself years of stress. The same ones in here mad would be those same ones telling you you saw the signs and ignored them. You had options. Absolutely. After the fact, when a woman is stressed and not getting support from their supposed co-parent, they'll be like, why did you ignore the red flags? Why didn't you vet? Blah, blah, blah. And then we see a woman who is looking at red flags and saying, nope, that's not what I want, then people still get on top of her. Club Paradise says, not gonna lie, I respect it. She saw the signs of things to come. Ash Reed's book says, why wasn't her food ready if you were home first? Questions that need answer. This man says, I mean, if you're shorty pregnant, she get a pass regardless, bro. And she just got off work. Can't be mad at her, because if you can't do that, you definitely going to be a bad father. Honey Lopez says, I'm not mad at her. Imagine having to ask him to assist you with the baby, but he rather play 2K. F no. Gigi LaFleur says, don't worry about it. I'll do it. Was a person. And then laughing emojis. Love Mrs. Lola says, grand opening equals grand closing. If I allow you to says, I don't blame her, because he was definitely about to be a deadbeat. And then finally at the bottom, more of y'all should take notes, because if he doesn't give a damn about you during the pregnancy, he for damn sure going to be a problem when the baby arrives and y'all got a co-parent. Yep. I mean, I think that women should take note and definitely play things out on how it could be based on behaviors that you have seen. Is this person someone that you really think that you want to be connected to for this long? And obviously in this chaotic time in this country in particular, it is not the time to be having babies. I say let that birth rate plummet to hell. Let it get there. All right, y'all. But you let me know what you think about both of these. Join the conversation. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. If you made it this far and you're not yet following me, go ahead and smash the follow button. So this bonus video that I am tacking on at the end, I came on this just opening up by TikTok FYP, and this woman is unhinged, and I was literally cackling as she was trying to help out her fellow white people, and I was chuckling the whole way through. So you can watch it, you can not watch it. Obviously, it has no bearing on any of the other posts. It's just a bonus. Let me know what you think.
I found myself on Black TikTok recently. I don't know how I got there, okay? But I just have a message to my fellow white people. Hey guys, we're so stinky. We are so smelly, you know? We are just so smelly. And I think here's what I've pulled, okay? All right. I feel as if, first of all, a washcloth, it's so cheap. It's so cheap. It's so handy. Yeah, it is. And it can, fun fact, it goes in the washing machine so you don't need to keep buying. Anyway, you know it's not working, and here's what I'm hearing. Here's what I'm hearing is happening. A little soap, a little, all done. Hey guys, your body's bigger than that. You know, when I'm coughing because I just ripped a crazy dab, my kneecaps sweat. You know, my kneecaps are sweating. And you know what? I'm walking in my stinky, smelly feet all the time. I'm standing in water. Hey girl, that's not good enough. Hey girl, that's not good enough. The water's hitting my butt cheeks. Hey sister, that's not good enough. I know that I have 25% male audience. They're creeping, you know? And I know that I got some white men here, okay? Hey guys, it can always be better. And here's the thing, I have a feeling that the reason why white people are so stinky smelly is it's like a white supremacy thing. And don't. It's because I think that it's like whiteness is cleanliness, is purity. I'm clean. No, we're not. We're not. Do you know what a dry brush is? Hi. Do you know what a dry brush is? What's that? I'm no pony. You, please. Oh, anyway. Dry brush, I'm serious, guys. I'm actually serious. A dry brush, we use it before the shower. Okay? Little gentle strokes. My skin, it's too sensitive. It's too pure and sensitive. No. That's because it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're exfoliating for the first time, okay? Some gentle strokes. You're gonna see flakes are gonna be flying like fireworks, sister. And that's okay. That's okay. I grew up with my friends being like, oh my God, I'm ashy, I need lotion. And here's me, I'm saying, that never happens to me, so I guess I never need to meet a friend named Lotion. Is what I say. Nope. What you're gonna do is you're just gonna get the biggest bottle of lotion, and you're just gonna keep it around. And then you're just gonna pump that baby whenever. But you know what you're gonna do after you shower you're gonna lotion up. The same thing that you're doing to your face, you're doing it to your whole body, girl. And that dry brushing's gonna be, oh! And then you go in the shower, you get those gloves on. I know they're scary, but it's just so easy, so cheap. And you're just gonna exfoliate and grab your washcloth and wash. I'm so serious, guys. I'm so serious. I sit next to the smelliest white kid. And like, my parents never taught me this. I had to learn this from Black TikTok. I'm serious, and this is a problem. Y'all, it's